What's up, y'all? It's your boy Shadow with In La Calle podcast, and I have a very, very special guest today. Today, we are happy to introduce you to, if you don't already know, which you're tripping if you don't know, but the one, the only, Kaniel the One. Make some noise for Kaniel the One. What's up, D? How you doing?
My boy. That's good, bro.
Man, all right. So I asked you to be on this podcast today, obviously because of your journey. Your journey as someone, as a young Latino kid from Oregon,
Yes, sir.
is very rare, very unique. I would say one of one. And, you know, the way we even connected was super random. Shout out Claudia.
Yeah, shout out my cousin. Shout out Claudia if you're watching this.
Shout out La Prima Claudia.
Yeah.
She was an old coworker, and she would always say like, "Oh, you make beats? Oh, you gotta check out my cousin." Just always hyping you up, and I'd be like, "Oh, for sure, yeah."
Hell yeah.
And then boom, I think I just randomly followed you on Instagram, and I saw that you had already worked with I forgot it, Lil Xan.
Yeah, Lil Xan.
You had like a few of the bangers under your belt.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit, like this motherfucker is fire. My bad.
I appreciate you.
And then I saw you because we did an event over at the place formerly known as Dirty's.
Yes, sir.
And you pulled up, and
I did.
I just said, "Yo, Claudia, I know your cousin Claudia." And then I was like, "You make fire beats. You're dope."
No, yeah, we've been locked in.
Yeah,
We've
that
been
was
locked in.
2018, I want to say 2019. So yeah, ever since then, man. Cheers to
Cheers, bro.
Cheers to where you've been since then.
Bro,
actually,
and we still here, man.
Even since then, man, the growth is absolutely crazy. So let's start there, man. I want to know. Let's start from the very beginning. When did you realize, not even that you wanted to be like this big producer, I'm sure like that was the long-term goal, but when did you realize you loved making music?
Shit. I think like ever since I was born, bro, I really love music. My dad played in a Mexican band growing up with my uncles.
Fire.
And he opened up for like Los Bukis, for Selena.
Oh shit.
Los Tigres, like in the 90s. Yeah. And he would basically go all throughout Washington, all throughout Oregon, and all throughout like, you know, all these states with my tios and shit. And he would, they'd be opening up for like 500 people. He told me when they opened up for Los Bukis, it was for like a couple thousand.
Goddamn.
And then my mom, she's super into music. She could like break dance.
Oh
and,
shit!
Yeah, bro, she can break
girl
dance
mom,
with me, bro. Yeah. My mom be putting it down, man.
That's fire.
And so I think ever since I was like growing up, like I just been super around music. My brother's super into music, and I would say around like 5 years old is when I like really knew I loved music. Cause
5?
Yeah, 5. My brother would put me on to like all the writers and all the producers. And,
Oh, sick.
Yeah, and so like when I was 5, like I already knew like who was writing these records and who was producing these records.
Oh, damn.
Because my brother was
That's
always
crazy.
like, you know, putting it into my ear and stuff. And I would say probably like by the age of 10 though, is when I really started making music. I picked up, my brother actually bought a machine, which was like an MPC. And he bought it for himself. And then he just kind of knew that I like really liked it because I would like use it more than
You
him.
would fucking sneak on
Oh,
it.
bro, like I'd be in my mom's room on the old PC, just making beats in there, like, you know, every day.
Hell yeah.
And to the point where my brother was like, you know, just hold on to it and you go
Right.
crazy with it, you know.
Yeah.
And I would say by 10 years old, like I really knew I wanted to like be a music producer and like do something. You know, I was like writing raps or writing music or making beats. And every day, I would say every day since I was like 10 years old, I've been making music, you know. And and then in high school, my brother ended up getting me FL Studio for my birthday again.
Hell yeah.
And so it really just kind of
Are you still on
me.
FL?
Yeah, I'm on FL for
that's
life.
your bread and butter?
Yeah, I'm on FL like for producing. And then for engineering and recording, I'm on the Pro Tools.
Pro Tools. All right, let's pause there because I think I failed to do something. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, chat. Let's go down the motherfucking roster.
Okay.
The fucking great artists, the legends that you have worked with. So we got a little bit of the early years.
Yeah.
We're gonna fast forward to the present time.
Okay.
Can you just let the people know like who you got, like as far as people that you have either, produced for? I know you also do like songwriting and shit like that. So what are some big names that obviously everyone will be like, what?
So up to this day, I've worked with Chris Brown, Young Thug, Lil Durk, Future, Lotto, Drake, Kid Cudi, Sage the Gemini, YG. 2025, I got a record coming out with Tyga and Ty Dolla $ign on his album.
Crazy.
Yeah, So
let's just go ahead and give you your
I
flowers.
appreciate you.
You see, so that's why I really wanted to do this podcast. Like, I feel like, at least here locally, you deserve more flowers.
I appreciate that.
So yeah, I wanted to, at least offer you this platform, the Calle platform, to sit down and go over, just your journey, man. Because I'm sure it's been wild.
It's been a long journey, man.
It's been a wild ass
crazy
journey. And yeah, I think it's a story that deserves to be told, and to inspire other young Latinos out here, or just young people that love music. So yeah, I definitely connect with the whole thing of like being a kid making music.
For sure.
When I was 11 years old, I fell in love with writing raps, and then at 13, I made my first beat on GarageBand, and I was like, I knew I was different because there was a project we had where we just had to make music for the video. It was a video class, but I got stuck on the beat making, and I was like chopping up the little samples way crazier than everyone else, and like organizing the drums way differently, and like, so that's when I really fell in love with it. So I definitely connect with you on that, and yeah, just like this. You obviously took the fucking beast mode fucking route.
Did my best, bro.
So yeah, let's get back into the storyline. High school, you're beat making. You're already working with Lil Xan.
Yeah. So basically, in high school, I was making hella beats, man. I was just working every day, and this is like the SoundCloud era. So in the SoundCloud era, I was just reaching out to everybody like in the SoundCloud messages.
Yeah,
like SoundCloud messages or Twitter, like back in the day, it was like one or the other. And I had found a homie of mine, who's my homie now, but not at the time, but his name was Steven Canyon, and he had like 500,000 listens on his song that I really fucked with. And I was like, let's work, and he was hella cool, and he hit me back, and I started sending him hella beats, and the first record we did hit like 500K, and so it was cool. I was like, okay, cool. It was my first like really indication where I'm like, I can really like do something with this, Yeah. And so I kept sending him beats, and at the time, he was just releasing a bunch of stuff, and then he met Xan. And Xan was like his cameraman, but Xan had got his camera stolen, and so he was like, it's cheaper for me to get in the studio and just try to rap than buy a whole new camera. So then all the beats that I had sent from my boy Steven, he was using them, right?
Oh shit.
And so like the first 10 records that Xan ever dropped, they were just my beats because Steve was just giving it to him.
Yeah.
And like low-key, Xan kind of like picked up really quick just because like of his image, and like having the name like Lil Xan at the time was like, it was hella crazy, And so
yo, shout out Lil Xan, because I feel like that fool was like a motherfucking ahead of his time, bro.
Hell yeah,
like,
bro. He was headlining Rolling Loud, and the song Betray that he ended up releasing was like the biggest like SoundCloud song at the time, and the biggest like Lyrical Lemonade Cole Bennett video.
Shit,
yeah, it was like 400 million. It kind of like,
he was on Lyrical Lemonade before.
Dude, that was their biggest song at the time. It was like 400 million. So they really propelled a lot of stuff, And so really just kind of like through sending a bunch of stuff out, we started working, and Xan started getting on like No Jumper.
Yeah.
And I was probably like 15, 16 at the time when he was doing that. Crazy. And they kept working and stuff. And eventually they got signed to Eardrummers, which is Mike Will's label. And when that happened, I had just graduated high school. So they were like, yo, like, pull up, let's work. I'm working on my album, and that's when he was working on his debut album. So right when I graduated high school, I mean, in between high school, I was still working with like other artists. I was working with like Famous Dex. I was working with like Sage of Gemini.
Was that usually like remotely? Like
it was all remote.
beats?
I was just sending stuff out.
Yeah,
I was just sending stuff out, or like DMing people, being hella annoying. Like like
at
me
that
sending
point,
some
were you making money off it?
Nah,
No,
I didn't make my first dollar till I was like. Yeah, I didn't make my first dollar till I was like 18. Off of music, or like 17 or something. Like I was just trying to just work with everybody and just kind of.
I mean, that's what it takes. You see all these producers just putting their shit up for free, like, yo, free beats, free beats.
I think they should, and that's like one of the biggest things you can do for yourself is like just be patient and believe, because I feel like a lot of young producers, they're really young to like, or really early to talk about money and want to like get the money now and do those kinds of things, and I'm like, when you really can build with somebody, that's like the kind of things that you can do, because me just building with Zan and Steve, like when they got signed, it put me in the door. Like, my first trip ever to LA, I went to the studio with them, and I was like in a real studio. That was my first like real studio in LA, and I had met like a bunch of people who were signed to Ear Drummers. Dom Kennedy was recording in the studio next to me. We were working on Zan's debut album, and I don't think that would have happened if I was like quick to press the situation and be like, what type of money y'all talking about? So I think it's just really good, like, to just build people you really like believe in and are your homies, and just see where it takes you.
Hell yeah, not expect too much and just go with the flow.
Just love what you're doing. You just love what you're doing. At the end of the day, like, I wasn't doing it because I wanted to be rich. I was just doing it because I love making music, So I wasn't really worried about it. I'm like, let's just.
Like, yo, I'm in a fucking dope ass studio with Lil Xan, and then Dom Kennedy's next door.
Oh yeah, low key, like Dom Kennedy too is one of my favorite artists. I was like listening through the door.
You were bugging, like, oh shit.
I was like listening through the door, trying to hear what he was recording. And I'm like, yo, if he opens the door right now, I'm gonna look crazy. But I was just, I was young.
Crazy, man. So yeah, let's kind of keep going with the story. So you went out to LA, you were 18, you graduated. What was like, you weren't really making money. What kind of was that pivotal moment? Cause I think I heard like you were like sleeping in your car and shit, right? Like you really fucking toughed it out, right?
Yeah.
Was that time, like when you went out there, you were like...
I think after that moment, I was like, I'm gonna just do this, like, I always told myself I was gonna do it regardless, So after that first trip, I was just like, I'm gonna come out here, sleep in my car, and whatever happens, happens. I never for 1 second like didn't believe it wasn't gonna happen.
Yeah.
I had like I think you kind of have to have that like crazy mindset,
What is it like? Be a little not delusional, but just
I mean, you kind of have to though. You do, like, because at the time, like, even in high school, I had no connections to anybody. I had like. It was just me trying to do something, I had a lot of people tell me, like, are you sure you want to do this? Like, you don't have any sort of connections out there. Like, you're going to go out there with no money. Like, it's just, but I was just crazy, I was just like, I'm going to do this.
Well, like, yeah, I mean, let's stop there. How was like the reaction from your family, from your parents, where you're like, hey, I know all my friends are going to college. I'm gonna go live in a car.
My parents definitely wanted me to go to college, and it's like, as a parent, that's what you would want. That's what I would want for my kids too. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I definitely like understand where they're coming from. It was never like no animosity or no, like, I never felt like they were hating, and like, I get where they were coming from. Yeah. As a parent, like, I understood, but I'm like, hey, like, I am gonna go do this regardless. And my parents knew that. My parents know I'm really stubborn and hard-headed, and when I want to do something, like, I'm not gonna stop myself.
It was like, I understand where y'all coming from, but I don't think y'all understand where I'm coming from.
Exactly. But at the end of the day, like, they were very supportive. Anytime like I got a win or something happened for me to help myself in my career, they're really supportive.
They saw the vision.
Yeah. They
get it.
Yeah, exactly. But even then, like I said, they're really supportive, and they never put me down. And if I ever needed something, they were there to help me. If I called them, they were there to
like if you really needed.
Yeah, of course. Help, and so at the end of the day, I'm really appreciative of that. And I think just having people around you, whether they're your friends or your family, that support you, can go like a super long way.
That's fire.
Yeah,
that's fire. Stay in school, kids, unless you're crazy.
Yeah. Unless you're crazy like me, and you decide to go live in your car for some years and figure it out.
Yeah, so let's jump back into that. You were in your car. You decided. Your parents are like, "Well, fuck, we're not able to stop them." kind of, yeah, how were those first like few weeks? I'm sure it was lonely, scary.
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard. You know, people don't understand. Like, it's really hard to be out there. I didn't go out there with no family. With my homies, actually, my homies are real as fuck. You know, shout out to my homie, shout out to my homie Kiko, shout out to my homie TJ, Kiana, my brother, my family who would come pull up because they would literally pull up and sleep in my car with me. In the passenger seat, hell yeah.
Oh,
they were like in
real.
school, yeah, hell yeah.
Real.
Like they knew what I was doing, and even if they knew they were going to be in the car for like a week, you know, they'd be like, "Fuck it, man! Like we gonna grind it out." And
that's real.
You know, there's times where I'm sleeping in like Walmart parking lots, like in my car and stuff, and the security come knocking and tell you got to move.
Yeah.
But I came up with the strat. I came with a little strategy eventually. Yeah, because once you start working with certain artists, all of the studios, they have like gated parking, but they have passcodes. So once I got like 3 or 4 passcodes, depending on like what part of the city I was in,
I'm gonna just go sleep.
I would just, you know, put the passcode and go to sleep there. But at the end of the day, I'm like, you know, I never felt bad for myself. I never felt bad because I'm like, this is my choice. Like, I could go live a pretty decent life back home, and I could be cool. But I'm like, you know, I chose to be out here. Yeah. I chose to do this, and I was like, I'm not about to go back home. Yeah. And I'm not like, I wasn't homeless. I could be sleeping outside. Yeah. You know, and I'd be sleeping in my car, and I see people sleeping outside, and I'm like, you know, I'll just be grateful. I think being grateful is like the most important thing you can do.
Of course. All right, so you found your strategy. You had your moves. How long were you out there, bro? Like in total?
Oh, man.
In your car?
In my car, probably like 80% of like 3 years between 2018 and 2021. So,
ladies and gentlemen, this is a psycho.
Yes, no, definitely. I look back and I'm like, damn, like I really did some crazy shit. Like even if I was put in a position to do it today, I'm like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, but hey,
but
I'm
that's
happy
how
I
he
did
made it happen.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, that's how he got to the position he's in.
For sure.
You know, very, very few people are willing to put in that work, do those, you know, put that much of a sacrifice on themselves. And it's fucking dope to hear that your family was like, you know what, we're gonna go visit you. We're gonna stay in the fucking van.
Whip, man. Yeah, man.
In the van behind you. We're gonna go to the park tomorrow. You know.
Yeah, man. All my homies were like, whatever, man. Like they was cool with it. They were supportive, and my homies, we would all be out there with just sharing money, whatever I had, whatever they had, and put it towards a pizza, put it towards gas, and.
So you had other homies that were kind of similar.
Yeah, because we all make music. All my homies make music, and all my homies, we all have the same vision, and we're all hella supportive, and you know, they knew. All my homies were like, hey, man, like, let's just go see what we can do, you know, this week, and we're just helping each other out. So it was cool. Like, we're still all best friends to this day, and helping each other out the same way. So even if I hit rock bottom tomorrow, I know the homies would be sitting in the passenger seat. You know? Yeah.
That's sick, man. So you're in your car for 3 years, 80% of 3 years.
Yeah.
When is that transition from, you know, no longer living in your car, you're making money off it now? What's the next move for Kanieltheone?
So the transition was crazy. The transition was like some movie shit, you know? Yeah. So at the time, my homie found out I was sleeping in my car, and he was like, hey, bro, like, shout out Choo Choo. Shout out the homie Choo Choo. He was like, you could come and like make a little studio on my warehouse that I have and just like sleep in there, you know? Because I was never the type to be like, yo, I'm sleeping in my car. You got a place to stay, da-da-da. But I would be like kicking it with the homies, and I'd be sleeping in my whip, and like they started finding out, you know? Yeah. And so...
Okay. So people, you just were keeping that to yourself.
Yeah, I mean, it's
You're
nobody...
just pulling up to the session.
I go to the session, I go back and sleep in the whip at the Walmart parking lot.
You didn't even talk about your life like that. You were just...
Nah, I feel like only very few people that like I was working with knew. And honestly, the ones who did know would help me. Yeah. But I'm like, bro, it's nobody else's, like, you know, it's my job, bro, you know, to figure it out. It was all
on you.
Yes, you know, it's my...
to do that.
Exactly. And so just to that, right, let me backtrack a little bit. I was sleeping there for like a couple weeks, right? Mm-hmm. And he knew some like celebrities and people that were working with them. And he hits me one day and he says, yo, let's go to French Montana's house. We're gonna drop off some beats to him. You know, I'm cool with these writers, and we're gonna go. And so basically, like, I pull up right with one of my homies, Kiko. He was actually like staying with me at the time because he pulled up from college.
Sick.
In the car, and I dropped off. Well, I pull up, and I drop off like, bro, probably like 40 beats. Like they were fucking with like everything I was sending to them, you know.
Fire.
And I'm like, dope. Okay, cool. Like, I think I can make some shake, you know. And I go back home after I drop these beats off for about 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
And a couple of my homies at the time, they're working on a bunch of records, and my homie Sims hits me, and he signed into French, and he was staying there.
Crazy.
And he's like, yo, we just did this crazy record, right? So they sent it to me, and it's the Go Crazy demo.
Oh, shit.
Because originally the record was supposed to be like two of my homies, just their song.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? And so I came back home for a little bit, and I'm like, yo, this shit is crazy. Like, the song was dope even the way it is, because we didn't know about Chris Brown and none of that until a little bit later, right? And but then like a week later, they hit me and they say, yo, we sent the record to Chris, he's dropping a mixtape in like 2 weeks, and we're pretty sure that he like did something to the record, you know?
Yeah.
And at this time, I was like in contact with the writers and these people I'm working with, and their manager at the time, who is my manager now also, right? And so we're all kind of like figuring out the business and figuring out what's going on.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, damn, I got to get back to LA ASAP. Yeah. So I go back to LA, right? And we get confirmation that the record is happening. We do like paperwork and all this kind of stuff. But I'm still like sleeping in my car and stuff, because like nothing's ever final till it's final, especially in the music business. Like you don't want to trust anything until you see that the song is like out on everything, you know? Because at any time,
start buying all types of crazy shit, you don't even get the check yet.
No, and like the thing is, sometimes they tell you these songs are coming out, and they don't end up coming out because of business reasons. So like you just want to make sure certain things are happening. You don't want to get too excited, you know?
You want to make sure you're hearing it on the radio.
Yeah, exactly.
Damn near, right?
And then so at the time, the song was only supposed to be a mixtape song, right? Like, so we didn't think a lot of it. We thought it was dope as fuck, because this is my first big record with two artists that I really love to listen to. And regardless, I'm like, yo, this is really dope for my career, whether this is a mixtape song and it does 1,000 streams or it does whatever. Yeah. And, you know, at the time, I didn't have any big records, so I'm not thinking like this is going to be like a hit or like I'm just super excited about it happening.
Yeah. I want to stop you there because so you went to the French Montana session and somehow this concept, one of your beats turned into a concept there.
Exactly.
And it somehow got to Chris Brown.
Exactly. So my manager that I have right now, she was my manager at the time, but she was managing the writers that I was working with.
Oh, okay.
And so we all kept in touch because we were all working really well. And these were like all of our big records together. Okay. Right? And so when I went back, though, that's when we had the confirmation and we got everything. And then so when I was back about like a week or two later, the song got released, you know? Yeah. But even when it was released for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, it wasn't that big of a record. Yeah. It was just like a regular record, you know? Yeah. But we were just very excited, like things were going well, things were working, and then I signed with my manager at that time. And
which is Benji?
Yep. Okay. Shout out to Sarai, like my big sister, you know, I love her to death. And she changed like a lot of things for me, changed my life and held it down. And I started, because of her, like during that whole timeline, I started staying at French Montana's house. So it was literally like 2 weeks sleeping in a Walmart parking lot, you know what I'm saying, to sleeping in French Montana's house, you know?
And is this a thing where like, he's just not even, he's barely there himself?
Yeah, so he wasn't really there a lot, and my manager's really cool with him, you know? They're both Moroccan, and they're really cool, and they were kind of helping each other out with a bunch of stuff, and they were working together on records and stuff. And then like a month later, the song started playing on the radio, you know, like a lot. And then it just kept going more and more and more and more. And then it reached like #1 on the radio. Like in like 2 or 3 months, it hit like #3 on Billboard, #1 hip hop, #1 R&B. And so my life in like the span of like, you know, 2 to 3 months from sleeping in my car to having the #1 record and sleeping in French Montana's house. And after that, I was able to, you know, have like an apartment in LA, and I moved to Amsterdam for a while.
Oh,
and
that's right.
So everything changes, you know. I think as long as you're just patient with yourself and really believe, like, a lot of things can change, you know?
Damn.
Yeah.
That's fire. That's fire. That's a clear example of just going for it and not stopping.
You just gotta believe in yourself and just be patient. You know, I think a lot of people are like, they're really quick to give up and say, you know, this is not for me, or I don't know if I can do this. And I think what really holds people like apart from each other is those who give up and those who don't. Because at the end of the day, like, you could have all the talent in the world, but if you're gonna give up and not like put yourself in those places, it doesn't do anything for you. There's people with less talent who apply themselves to like so many situations who are where they need to be because of just their effort, you know? And I think that goes for anything, you know, but I think like I'm a true testament. Like, there's so many producers who I could say, you know, are better than me or can play this piano and do this crazy ass shit, you know, but I'm like, I think the difference between me is I never gave up, and like I knew that I was gonna do it, you know?
Fuck yeah, bro. That's fire, man. That fucking lights a fire under my ass, bro. I'm like, damn, I'm fucking up. I gotta go fucking sleep outside the studio.
It's just motivation, you know, and I try to like even tell like kids who come and message me and say, hey man, how can I do these things like you, or how can I, even man, I go back to my high school sometimes and I go back to the high school games and certain kids come up and ask me like, you know, how can I go to LA and do this and this and this, and I'm like, dude, like, it's not a secret formula. Like I didn't have a formula when I did stuff. I didn't have anybody to call and be like, how do I do this, or this certain step and this step. Like I had no idea. I was just going into it, doing whatever I thought was best, and just being patient with my own journey.
Trusting your gut.
That's it.
Yeah.
You know, just trust yourself, man, and just believe.
Yeah, see, that's one thing too, is like, obviously we're both at these parts in our career where we are like at the best place we've been, right? Even me, like, definitely way different level, obviously, but
nah, that's all.
Like,
you know?
I get a lot of people that also come to me and they're like, bro, like, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this, like, how do I do it? And I just look at them like, bro, you just got to do it. Like, I don't know how else to explain
there's
it,
there's no secret formula. What works for me is not necessarily going to work for the next person.
Exactly.
You know, like, we have different talents, we have different people, we have different paths. But at the end of the day, what I can tell them is like, if you just stick to it and you believe in yourself and, you know, you really have that love for it, like, I believe in you too.
Yeah. And
I think goes for a lot of people. Like, if you see somebody believe in themselves, you're like, damn, I believe in you too. You know, like, you catch on to the belief. And it changed overnight for me. It wasn't, you know, necessarily overnight. Like, I didn't do things 10 years before that. But it is, you know, you do the things 10 years up to that point where it's just like one thing. And then boom, you know. Everything is different.
Hell yeah. So I'm just imagining you in those moments. Boom, it's official. You got this Chris Brown, Young Thug, super big record, go crazy. The fucking dance videos are blowing up.
Yeah, the dance videos were going
I remember
crazy.
seeing this journey just as someone that had briefly met you. And I was like, fuck yeah, like it's happening, you know? Seeing it happen, what you've been fucking working for. And I remember seeing your stories of literally living in your car.
Yeah, bro.
So like, I've seen the journey, and it was so fucking sick to just like be like, fuck yeah, like he finally fucking did it, you know?
I appreciate that, bro. I appreciate it. So
I'm sure there was a lot of people rooting for you the exact same way, and even more, you know? So I'm imagining you fucking, it's official. You're seeing the skyrocketing effect of this track. And I'm sure the whole industry was shook. Like, who is this Kaniel?
Oh yeah.
Kaniel the one.
I think the thing about the music industry is that it's really gatekept. You know what I'm saying? Like, people be gatekeeping the fuck out of everything.
I'm sure.
And so like, if they're not gonna open the door, you gotta break through the window. You know what I'm saying? And I just think that's what I did. Like, I'm really grateful for those who helped me along the way, that were humble enough to just give me a chance, you know? Because there was times where I probably wasn't ready, and they still gave me a chance. And they were really in position to do a lot of stuff, and they didn't have to, you know? And I think that, though, just kind of showed me, you know, that I'm going to do the same for those coming next, you know? Because, I don't know, man. You know, it's good to just help everybody that comes after you and help people just achieve their goals and dreams, and whether that's, you know, speaking to them, or whether that's just, you know, putting them with somebody. But nobody, you know, maybe very, very, very few people like really tried to help me, you know, get the door in. But you just gotta break the window, man. That's what I tell people. If you don't have any way in, bro, you gotta make a way in.
How was so after this, like how does your life change as far as like how do you say it? Inquiries about just working with you?
I mean, like, I think it's a little different now, you know. At this point, like I can kind of like.
Is this something? Because I'm complete outsider. Like, is this something to where your manager's like, hey, I just got hit up by fucking Drake's people.
And so it's a little bit of everything, right? Like, I've made a lot of my own relationships, you know, along the way. Okay. And so has she, and so has my team. Mm-hmm. You know, we have a really dope team where we all like love to work together and see one another win, right? So if it's me and I have a situation where I can help my team, if I say, hey, this artist hit me up, I need records for him, or I need this, I have this person to get my beats from or records from, and I got 3 different people to pull. And when they have something going on, you know, we go that way, and we kind of just help whoever is, you know, the one at the moment, and we just help keep pushing them, you know. And cause at the end of the day, you know, you're not going to be at the top forever. You're going to be times where you're going to be at the bottom, times you're going to be at the middle. But if you have a team who really tries to help each other out, and you're never going to be there. You guys are always going to be, you know, where you need to be. And
that's fire.
So sometimes certain artists hit me, and it's a different situation. Sometimes artists hit my manager, or sometimes A&Rs hit me, or like labels hit me and say, hey, we need certain records or beats like this, or so it comes in a whole lot of different forms now. Before, it was just trying to be me, like just sending 100 things out a day and making 100 things, and now I can kind of like relax a little bit more and pick and choose certain things, and name my price on certain things or certain projects, and where before it was like, you know, I'm taking everything I could get, you know. But so it comes in various forms now.
All right, I think now we've gotten to the climax, right? Boom. Now that how long has it been since like that you finally like pushed through?
Man, I'm gonna probably say like 3 years.
Okay, so now that you've been in it, you've really been in it, 3 years, Kanieltheone is like on the top of the list of producers people got to work with. Labels are hitting you up, artists. Is it what you pictured it would be?
No, not at all.
Is there? Yeah, I kind of want to get into. Obviously, you as a young kid, you have this dream and it's this fantasy, right? Now you're living it day to day.
Yeah.
You're 3 years in. Congrats on your studio, by the way. What's the name of the studio?
So Backroom Studio coming soon. It's a big compound in Oregon. So
hell yeah.
If y'all over here, touch down. Shout out to Franchise Studios and shout out to Sloth Gang and everybody holding it down. So.
Hell yeah. Make sure if you're an artist, if you're listening to this, you want to work with Kaniel, make sure to check out the studio.
Sir.
What's the name one more time?
So Backroom's going to be the new studio opening up next year.
What city?
It's like Tiger Lake, Oswego.
Tiger Lake, Oswego.
So metro area, Portland area.
Very close to everything.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah. Wow, man, I'm about to pull up myself.
You got to get a little verse in.
I don't know about a verse. Dude. I haven't rapped in forever.
You still got it, man. You know, it never leaves.
You know what? I got Kanieltheone producing behind the decks. Let's get it. But let's dive into like now that you're really in it. You're in the reality of your dream.
So, I think it's also just like a personal like progression too in my life. I think I wanted different things when I was younger before it happened for me. And now that I'm there, I want different things. You know, I think when I was like a little younger, even like a year or two before everything popped off, you know, I wanted to be like a super mega star, super rich, you know, doing all this bunch of crazy shit. And you know, I think like now as I've gotten older and I'm at where I'm at, I think my biggest like point is just to help out like my community and just help out those around me, help out my family. You know, make sure everything is put in place for my future. And I'm also worried about like, you know, these crazy parties that I used to go to in LA anymore. You know, we used to go to crazy BET parties or this celebrity's party or this and this and this. And I think now I'm more interested in like, you know, how can I help out the youth? Like, how can I have plans of going back to my high school and teaching them how to make beats and how to record, and just speaking to them and saying, you know, like, I was in the same classroom as you, and I started from nothing too. You know, I didn't have these big connections and this, so you guys are also, you know, very capable of doing these things, and I think that for me is like more rewarding than any sort of money or any sort of accolade or any sort of something. Just seeing people progress and seeing the youth and the community just like just love music and progress in their musical journey. So I think my dreams have changed a lot, you know, in the last like 3 to 4 years. I think I'm just trying to just really do something for the community.
That's fire, bro. That's fire. I appreciate that, because that's one thing I was surprised, you know, getting to know you a little bit more. Obviously, you're a DJ out here now too. Shout out DJ Kanieltheone.
Yeah, DJ Kanieltheone.
So like, just seeing you more often out here DJing and you know, offering what I can as far as like bookings at Calle.
Oh yeah. Shout out Calle.
Hey, you already know the fam. One thing is that I find so cool is that you are very just open. You know, very open and just fucking trying shit out, bro. Like, since we've been talking, you've always been like, yeah, for sure. Like, everything I tell you, I'm like, what the fuck, bro? Like,
yeah, man.
You gotta go fucking work with fucking Travis Scott or whatever.
I mean, you know, I think at the end of the day, like, I've met a lot of people who are really famous and have a lot of money, and they're also really humble people. You know, they're really humble, and they just show, you know, it's never a reason for anybody to be a dick or be an asshole or like, you know, help. Like, I've been in the room with the biggest artists in the world, the biggest producers in the world, and a lot of them have shown me the utmost respect and giving me opportunities and giving me the time of the day and conversation. And, you know, you got to just take that everywhere you go. There's never a reason to, you know, not just be a human being.
You're not ready, son.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But I think it's just about being a human at the end of the day. And, just being cool with everybody, man. There's no reason not to be, you know? I really just...
That's refreshing, bro. That's
refreshing. I want people in the city to know that, like, you know, they can reach out to me. They can DM me if they need help, if they need to find a studio, they need to figure out where can I go from this, or if they're like a kid or in high school or something, like, hey, man, I want to rap or I want to make beats, like, where do I start? You know, I'm always like DM them back, and I'm always spark a conversation. I don't want people to look at me as like I'm like a,
like, you know, this unreachable.
Nah,
like,
hell no, fuck no, because you know, at the end of the day, I want to just help everybody out and be there for people who want the help.
That's very commendable, because I feel like we all know people that get just a little bit of shine.
That shit is the worst.
Their head gets fucking, you know, huge, and it just becomes this thing of like, damn.
That shit is the worst.
He's out of here. He's out of here.
And I think I dealt with that a lot when I was first coming up in the music industry, first coming up, even just in the city.
Yeah.
You know, like, people just didn't want to fuck with me because they thought that they were like a certain person. And at the end of the day, I never took it personal, but I'm like, when I get to that place, I don't want to do the same thing, you know? Like, I never... That's just, I don't know. It's just, you know, there's no reason, you know? There's no reason, man. It's just like, I think there's room for everybody in this industry. And I think you realize that not everybody also wants to do it to the same level. Yeah. You know, I think before I used to be like, man, like, if you don't want to be like a superstar, I want to be like doing this shit, like, fuck that, you know, I don't give a fuck. Yeah. But now I'm like, you know, I'm grown now, you know, like, everybody got a job, people got responsibilities. Some people just want to figure out how they can make better music just like for their own well-being, and just listen to their own music and be like, damn, like, this is dope, you know? And I just think, like, it's dope when people love something and want to do better at it.
Man, see, I think it's really cool what you're doing, like, that you're doing it here. You're obviously, your roots are here, but you're coming back to where your roots are, and you're planting more seeds, and you're creating a space for more people from here to blossom, hopefully, you know?
Right, that's the goal.
And I'm sure you're gonna find these diamonds in the rough, you know? They're like, oh shit, you got something, and something's gonna come out of this. But yeah, man, I'm very excited to see where the next 3 years.
I appreciate you, bro. We'll probably be back doing another podcast. You know what I'm saying?
We got to do these every 3 years.
Let's do it.
Nah, you know what? Not every 3 years. That's too long. We're gonna do a monthly. This kid.
I gotta come back every month then.
Nah, just kidding. Nah, well, like once a year would be fire.
Let's do it, man.
We'll check in with Kanieltheone.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's been very dope to watch your journey. Just having
yours too,
you
man.
know-
I've seen you started
yeah.
certain clubs, and now you're here working these clubs and
Yeah.
doing bookings and festivals,
Yeah.
and you know what I'm saying. It's the same thing for me to watch you, do
Yeah.
your shit in your journey, bro. So
Hell yeah, man.
give you your flowers too.
Oh yeah, man. Of course. Like I definitely want to like work with you in a different aspect when it comes to the production. Like when I was doing Past the Aux. Like,
I remember, bro. Like I said,
wanna
I've been there, bro. I've been there since day one.
Shout out Kanieltheone, man. Like he was literally. Actually, yeah. Let's get into this moment because this was so dope for me, and I appreciate it forever. I have Past the Aux. Some of you may have heard. This is like a concept I had to bring a community of producers together. During the pandemic, I was doing quarantine beat battles, which they were the highlight of my pandemic.
That shit's fire, bro. That shit's fire, bro.
Fun, bro.
Nobody else was doing it. You know, so that was dope.
Putting it together was the funnest shit ever, and just connecting with the local producer community was fire because I took this DJ route, and it was like the reggaeton route, completely disconnected from my roots.
But it never goes away.
Yeah,
you always find your way back.
So I was like heavy into that, but I was like, nah. Now I'm home all the time. I'm back making beats in my living room. I'm fucking, I'm zoned out, and I came up with the concept. Literally, Kaniel just blew the fuck up. Literally, when Go Crazy was going crazy. And I'm like, yo, I'm doing this beat battles. You want to be like the judge and come up with the concept? And it was just super like, yeah, let's do it. Tell them to download this and fucking do it, and I'll judge it and we'll do it. And I was like, okay, fuck. Like it was super easy. And yeah, man, I want to get back to similar shit, but maybe more
trust
like,
me, we go get some shit in the works, So
more in the real life instead of remote. How
the virtual,
the virtual world.
Yeah.
So look out for that. Look out for Backroom Studios.
Yes, sir.
Big shout out to Kanieltheone. Thank you again for coming through.
Yes, sir.
On these podcasts, I think you answered it very well. The last guest asked the next guest the final question. Okay. And this is from JQ. You already answered it though. Okay. Which kind of is perfect. And it's literally what have you done for your community to bring your community up? Yeah. So I think you're in the midst of it. You can answer it however you want. It can be quick because you literally just talked about it. Yeah. And then just, while you're doing that, think of something to ask the next person.
I guess I'm going to just add a tidbit, and I'm going to say if anybody's watching this and has any more ideas of how I can help my community even more, feel free to reach out. Because I'm always trying to reach out to certain organizations or certain people, and I'm saying, hey, like, what can we do to help the community, right? Whether, same thing, it's a beat battle, or whether it's a youth, or whether it's a church thing, and we're doing this, or whether it's you guys want to come by to my studio and check out things that are going out.
Field trips.
Anything, Like, I always want to find more ways to help my community out. And, whether that's through sports or music or whatever, and everything I'm doing community-based is never for money. So just know, it's always free, and I'm going to always find the time to come and help out and just, make those things happen.
Fire. I actually know someone that works for Tigard High School, which is probably close.
Let's do it.
It would be cool to figure out a way to get some of those students.
I'm there, bro.
Some of those students in the studio that are interested, Yeah. So we'll see if we can make that happen. Man. Very, very excited for your future. What's something that you can think of for the next guest? I don't even know who the next guest is, but
I guess
something that's very broad, but that anyone.
I guess I'm gonna ask them. Like, what was their biggest obstacle on their journey, and how did they do what they did do to overcome it? Yeah. Also, and maybe even just mentally, what did they do to overcome it? Because you got your mental space needs to be in a good place in order for you to keep moving.
Next episode, we'll talk about your mental.
It's journey. Very important, man. Very important, bro. So hell yeah, I appreciate you.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Hey,
all right, my dog.
Thanks, G. Let's get it. Peace out, y'all. That's another one for En La Calle podcast. Make sure you tune in. We're gonna be coming out with these a little more consecutively. I know I've been slacking like crazy, but we got this space now that we can use more often. Yes, sir. So we'll see y'all on the next one. Shout out Kanieltheone. Make sure you check him out. What is your app?
So always that Kaniel. So yeah.
Oh, it's that Kaniel.
Yeah.
OHTHATSKANIEL.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Let's get it. All right, peace out, y'all. Have a good one. We'll see you on the next one.
All right, y'all.
Peace.